I have got to open this box. I need to get to the action figure inside. So, I've got another action figure reveal and review for you from PopCon. This is a new G.I. Joe Classified. About to reveal him, but let me give you some hints. Villain, mercenary, master of disguise, twin siblings, and color changing skin. That should be enough for you to guess who this new action figure is. I'll reveal and review him up next. Welcome back to PopCon, everybody. Salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s. I'm your G1 host, Victor, with another Generation 1 action figure reveal for you. Now, when I say Generation 1 action figure, I don't mean an old action figure. I mean a new action figure of those massive franchises born in the greatest era, the 1980s. So I was there for the inception of all these guys, and now as an adult collector, I can afford to get them all. And I'm getting the new modern versions of those franchises that I loved. So stay tuned. Here we go. So, could you guess who the character was from the hints I gave earlier? Well, there's so many characters in this G.I. Joe Classified line that they're filling up our toy shelves with. I wanted to debut a new one and get him out of the box. None other than the Master of Disguise, Zartan. Yeah, this villain character from the early 1980s action figure and TV show line is pretty unique. And when I say color-changing skin, I mean color-changing skin.
An evil master of disguise. Zartan changes color right before your eyes. Zartan. Introducing Zartan. Zartan changes color in sunlight.
There's Zartan! He's escaping in the chameleon! Let's go get him! Go, Joe!
But Zartan has a disguise.
Where's Zartan?
I don't know any Zartan.
Zartan changes color in sunlight, and Zartan comes with the chameleon. Other figures and equipment each sold separately from Hasbro.
As leader of the Dreadnoks, I had no idea what a Dreadnok was. As a matter of fact, as a kid, I thought it was Dreadnought with a T. But, that mattered because I didn't know what a Dreadnought was either. Perhaps because his whole gang was Australian, it was an Outback thing. For now, let's take a look at his package. Well, it looks like to me that Zartan's package is well appointed, with a lot of extra accessories, which we'll get to, especially this little face. We'll talk about that a lot more in just a moment. But first, we're going to quickly look at the package. We can see the drawing here of Zartan that goes around the side. There are two actually pieces of artwork of Zartan done by the artist Tony Daniels. This comic book artist is prolific and has fantastic DC artwork, including Batman and even Harley Quinn. I'm glad they used the artwork of famous artists and really push that envelope and really share that magic with all of us. They don't have to be G.I. Joe staff artists. They're people that they know can do an awesome job. And it makes the box all more interesting. Now, on the side of the box, there are, on all of them, have been sort of these faction symbols. And I just don't know what they mean. And I probably won't look them up. I might. But yeah, I'm sure it tells us a lot about Zartan in code. Other than that, though, I just want to get in. So we know how this works. We're going to open this up. Very easy to get open. I don't need any tools for that, but here we go. I'm pulling him out. There he is. There is some artwork in the back. It's still seen on the artwork on the side, but it's the logo for the Dreadnoks. But here he is in the packaging. Perfect, easy packaging to get into, but let's go ahead and get that figure out here before we explore it. Pull him out of his rubber Blade Runner replicant plastic here. So we've got his backpack. We have a few weapons here. We've got a pistol. We have got a sword right there. And I'm going to put it in front of my face. Do you like that? So you can see it better with my glowing white skin. I'm going to have to get that. I will find it in a moment. That popped out of there. They're very small. And what looks to be a small little... No, it's an extra hand, which is great. So another hand. It's like a little claw. We'll look at that a little later. And finally, the coup de grace of these accessories is this disguise mask, which actually came with the original action figure back in the early 80s as well. And we will take a look at that on his face. And as you all know, I'm just not a package guy, not a knit and package. We're just going to put it back and do what we always do. Toss this in the trash. Okay. All right, let's go on and let's take a look under the hood. That's not Zartan. That's actually his disguise face. So taking the hood off, you can see that I put the disguise face that came with the action figure on top. It's a little odd and hokey without the hood, but it is still pretty cool to have. He does completely look different. Now that you look at his real face, especially with his hood on, that black makeup around his eyes, he is that face sculpt is so detailed, and you just kind of see what kind of guy he is. Here's an overall look of Zartan, that villainous mercenary and leader of the Dreadnoks. Now, like the original toy, it comes with a backpack. The backpack on the original was actually on a hinge. This is in 2 pieces, but it serves the same purpose. Amazingly, that little plastic face disguise fits right on in like it did, snaps in, perfectly fits. Then just use the other side if you don't fumble it like I did, and close them together. Just kind of squeeze them together there. So there's the backpack there. You can see I hung some of the other accessories on the backpack as well. And just like in the old 1980s version, actually, I know G.I. Joe came out in 82, but his first toy wasn't released until 1984. They have still the same way to put it on. Just a peg into a hole in his back. So you go ahead and push that in. Wearing his now backpack with his Master of Disguise stuff in there. Now hanging off the back is some crazy stuff, but also on his belt is this fantastic, it looks like a Bowie knife. I know nothing about weapons, but just the look makes me think of that with the serrated edge like that. You really get a feeling overall looking at his costume and his armor, his epaulets, his knee pads, the wrinkles in the costume, that there went to great lengths to make the sculpt wonderful. And that's what you get from these over 6-inch figures. Got great articulation in the shoulders, and the elbows and knees have double articulation. Even better is the torso articulation. Again, all the great for posing, however you want to be posed in on your toy shelf or for photos. Really great detail is the symbol of the Dreadnoks. The skull was kind of the ram horns on his belt. So what you can do now in the 21st century with action figures is amazing when it comes to the detail and the overall look. Very realistic. Piece there overall, and I like all the pieces, his armor on the front and even his little maroon sash, which gives kind of a harkens back to its original action figure. So speaking of the original, let's take a quick look at Zartan Through Time. He did debut in 1984, and his change of color was from UV plastic, turned dark blue in the sun. And over time, he did change a little bit. One was very extreme in the 90s, kind of went back to his normal, especially during the 25th anniversary. And then finally, you see what new action figure technology can do today. Although he briefly regained his color-changing technology, this new version sadly does not have it. Here's a little information about the character that came on the original code file for Zartan. His real name was unknown, and so they said Zartan can alter his skin color at will to blend in with his environment. He's also a master of makeup and disguise, a ventriloquist, a linguist, over 20 languages and dialects, an acrobatic contortionist, and a practitioner of several mystic martial arts. Very little is known of his background and origins, but most security agencies agree that he must have had European military academy training, probably St. Cyr. And what I did find out about hanging off of his backpack is that is a monkey's paw and a serpent's head. So, I don't know. Seems a little bit into that mystic occult stuff, huh? Well, at this time, it's usually the same old put him on the shelf. But I had to bring up something that pissed me off last week. I had made an entire reveal for another G.I. Joe Classified, but due to technical difficulties, that actually had to be canceled. But I do want you to know that I did add Lady J to the toy shelf. This Lady J action figure is phenomenally done. She's a great representation. It even comes with swappable hair with a little cap to kind of differentiate between the action figure rendition as well as the animated. Well, anyway, I added Lady J next to Flint on my toy shelf. So we're going to put her back and put her right where Flint is next to Cobra Commander. Notice that a lot of things change on my toy shelf often. And so I'll move it around and I'll continue to do so. But for now, I wanted to go ahead and take Zartan and go ahead and see how I've... Here he is. You've seen him a lot. We're going to go ahead and add him to the toy shelf now. No real interesting or necessary music for him. I am going to put him next to his, well, sort of his boss on occasion. Cobra Commander and Zartan had a very rocky relationship. And no, I'm not trying to ship Cobra Commander and Zartan. Nothing like that. It's just simply that they did have to work together. But it was always a little uneasy. So let's see. Oh, I always love it when they stand, right? It's always nice when you see that. So now I've got 2 baddies and 2 goodies from G.I. Joe Classified up on my toy shelf. Very excited to add that to my collection. And as for the rest of you, thank you so much for joining me as I add toys and action figures. I do think this action figure line is A+, and I'm glad I'm going to continue to collect it and add it to my toy shelf, and that you're along for the ride. So please continue to join me. Subscribe to my channel. Put those alerts on. Could really use your help and your support. Hope you have fun going through these reveals and reliving some of those memories of our childhood together. See you next time.
away from her, you